Wake up, get up. Wake up, get up.
Larry, Kendall, and Kathy. This is the KS1075 Morning Show.
Very happy to have a man that you can see tonight at Comedy Works down here in the DTC. And you're in for a treat if you go to see him. You may have seen him already on several TV shows, and he's joining us this morning. NEMR is here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Morning, man.
Morning. Very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Okay. So NEMR. A lot of people are saying NEMR. Do you get that? Do people?
I get NEMR, and NEMR.
NEMR.
In Europe, they call me NEMR. I don't know where they get the raw from, but it's NEMR, like simmer, but hotter.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, that's a good way
NEMR
to
is
say it.
terrorist for sure.
NEMR is a nice, he's a young man who's a very nice. Yes, NEMR.
Yeah.
You want to know more? You're
NEMR.
Like, NEMR. What's
NEMR. Oh.
Because of the R. But if you pronounce it like it is in Arabic, it's NEMR, and it becomes very menacing. So,
Right. I was
Yeah.
just gonna say,
Yeah.
watch out.
So then you're like, oh, NEMR. But my name NEMR means tiger.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my full name NEMR, and we dropped the last name not because I want to be like Cher, but because it's impossible to get any host to introduce me and like on stage and act like they know me
With the
Right,
entire
right,
thing.
yeah,
the
because
entire
they're like,
name.
this is my good friend. We've been on the road. It's NEMR Abu and
They're
then
like
it's just
tiger.
tiger. So
But
the full name is NEMR Abu
Tiger.
Nassar, which means Tiger, Father of the Victorious.
Wow.
Okay, that's
that's
pretty cool.
That's a cool name.
Right.
And you see, that's why we have war in the Middle East. We have names like that.
Yeah, because we have boring names.
Yeah,
over
you
here.
can't,
Yeah.
if you're like Larry Smith, you're not going to start anything. But when you're Tiger, Father of the Victorious, watch out.
Right.
Is that coffee cold? Step aside.
Yeah, some stuff might go down.
You're definitely not allowed to be gay.
No. Or if you're gay, you're the most terrifying gay
Right.
person in the world.
You're a
house
power
cat.
top.
Yeah.
You're a house cat.
You're a house.
You wear only black.
So NEMR has a cool story, and he has been going around the world, very very popular in the Middle East and
Yes,
Europe, and you're really landing on the U.S. during this tour.
Yeah.
But you were born in Lebanon,
Yes, sir.
came to the States,
Yeah, when I was about 2 years old, came to San Diego.
San Diego,
And Trump hasn't trusted you since you've been here.
No. and once again, I'm like, hey, I've supported you in the past. I've watched your shows.
Right.
I like them.
You watched
The Apprentice was highly entertaining.
right? So you came to the States, but then you went back to Lebanon
When
Your
I was
family-
11.
because your family came here initially because of the Civil War.
We
there.
escaped the war, yeah.
So when you come to the States and then go back to Lebanon as a kid, what does that feel like?
Well, horrible because that's all I knew. So
Yeah.
obviously I was 2 when I left Lebanon. I didn't remember.
You didn't know,
anything.
right?
Oh, my happy memories were here. I mean, this is America, and I went in San Diego. It's like beautiful. and
Sure.
Yeah.
I have great friends, and then my dad's like, we're gonna go to Beirut, Lebanon, and we get there, and there isn't electricity, 24 hours a day. We just finished a brutal civil war of
Yeah.
like 35 years. Your bedroom is riddled with bullet holes.
Oh my God.
There's like mortar fire, and your dad's like, "Isn't this great?" And you're like, "Dad, there's a rocket in my room." And he's like, "Rockets build character." So
He's all bullet holes, ventilation.
But my dad, this is the funniest thing. My dad brought us back to Lebanon because he was like, "We need to go back to Lebanon where it's safe."
What?
Really?
Yeah, because he was afraid. There was. When I was growing up, they'd send sketches to the house. Like, there's this guy, watch out for him. He's like a pedophile or kidnapping
Okay.
kids.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, like, you'd have, drugs. He was afraid we'd get into drugs or
Okay,
whatever.
right.
And in Lebanon, he's like, the only threat is war. Apart from that, it's the safest place on earth. Like, we keep our doors unlocked.
Okay.
Right.
And you can hear a bomb coming, so you can dodge it. But you,
Are you kidding
but you
me?
can't see a drug deal.
Okay.
Right.
I guess you're right.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like...
A scary guy in a van doesn't make
A
too much noise.
scary guy in a van would
Right.
never last 2 seconds in Lebanon
Right.
because no.
He
Right.
gone.
No drug pushers.
No
there.
drug pushers there because they get shot.
Right. Wow. That's
Okay,
hilarious.
so how long did you stay there then?
Most of my life, I just came back to the U.S. about 2.5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
But I obviously traveled back and forth.
Sure, yeah.
But being in Lebanon is like being in California. It's strange, I know, but because the majority of the population was displaced because of war.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went back there in 93, I wasn't the only one. All of my friends, nobody spoke Arabic. Nobody reads Arabic, or even we have to learn Arabic, English, and French.
Oh,
Okay.
So when I first went there, it was a disaster because I could only speak English. And I was from San Diego, so technically I didn't even speak English.
Right. You
spoke
had
I was like,
dude.
oh my God, like,
You
what's
spoke dude,
going
yeah.
on? And I'm like, this is ridiculous. We went there. It was interesting. In a year, I fell in love with it. It's really one of the most beautiful places on earth. And Lebanon is contrary to popular belief, which is nobody's fault but ours.
Yeah.
It's much like San Diego. That's why we went to San Diego. There's beaches and mountains and Four Seasons.
That's what I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
because we do have misconceptions about certain places in the Middle
Yeah,
East,
for sure.
because all we see is war and terror and things like that. But there are nice places.
Why would anybody report the good stuff anyway? I mean,
Right,
it's,
for
there's
sure.
nothing- It's like, come look at. Why would evening news be like, today we go to Beirut to check out their weather?
Right. It's a beautiful day
It's
in
a beautiful
Beirut.
day.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, what do people there think of Trump? Like, what is the?
our whole election thing. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I mean,
a lot
like-
of Arabs like him because he's like an Arab dictator. He talks like one.
Right, like I'm going to imprison her.
Yeah, when he says stuff like that, Arabs are like, well, he's a tough guy.
right.
He sounds like Mubarak. He sounds like the Egyptian. But it's not like they like him or dislike him. But the funny thing is, until he said that sentence, I think a lot of Arabs were like, this is fun. But then when he said it, they were like, this is not fun, because they were like, America's not supposed to be like us.
Sounds like somebody over here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that one thing. Now, but you'll find Arab Americans who would vote for Trump, and Arab Americans who would vote for Hillary. Now,
Sure.
I'm Christian, but regardless, Muslim or Christian, you'll see Arab Americans who want to vote. There's a lot of jokes as to why Arab American Muslims want to vote, and the main joke is they're tired of having their relatives visit. And they're like, this is great. Keep them out.
He'll keep
That's
him out.
Trump. They
We have a
can't
great
come.
day. We wanted you to come. But,
He's color of beautiful sunset.
yes, so it's a bit ridiculous.
NEMR's here. He's going to be at Comedy Works South tonight.
You're hilarious.
In the
Yes.
DTC. Get tickets now at comedyworks.com or call 720-274-6800. With Trump specifically, this whole thing, there are some people hedging their bets saying, well, if he does win, we're going to have like 4 years to really, do this guy in if you're a comedian.
Right.
Do you feel kind of that way? Like maybe it's a small percentage of you maybe saying, hey, I need him for the jokes.
I mean, I would have been with, but he's been so giving already.
Yeah. It's enough.
We have
It's enough.
We have
Thank
enough
you.
for 8 years.
Thank
I
you.
could take 2 terms of jokes.
Exactly. He has enough for jokes. We don't need him having the nuclear code.
And then the thing is, the beautiful thing is, I don't think he's going to go away if he loses.
No.
Right.
no
Yeah.
way.
You know what I'm saying? So
No.
he's the gift that keeps on giving, and
Yes.
God bless him.
NEMR in town tonight, comedyworks.com. Go see him. Only got one show, so you got to go check him out. Make sure you get tickets. This is the KS1075 Morning Show.